And we're live. So, to recap, last session that we had just started talking with Thavius Krieg, and
so at this point, he's told us about two things, and they were both lies.
Yeah. No checks required. He's that bad a liar, even though he's a practiced liar.
All right. Go back to the notes. Hopefully, I wrote down his first two comments. No, I did not. All right. So he does not believe the shield belongs to an angel, but we don't know whether he's correct in believing it does not.
Correct.
And he claims he was effectively taken prisoner by the Van Templars, and that was a lie.
Correct.
Had we gotten past that, or were those the only two questions that we'd covered yet?
I believe that was it, because, yeah.
All right. All right. So how is it that you came to be here rather than in Elturel?
Sorry. He says that he was visiting in a place right outside the city when it collapsed into the...
Right outside Elturel?
Yeah, right outside Elturel he's visiting like a little parish, I think is the term?
Yes.
Yeah, he's visiting a parish right outside Elturel when it caved in on itself.
Okay. So, what did you say they were asking you to do with the shield?
They asked me to figure out how to free this fiend or something in the shield. But I think it's like an angel stuck in it, which probably backfired on them immensely.
And what would freeing this fiend/angel accomplish for them?
For them, they think it would allow them to, They think it would allow them to take control of Baldur's Gate and allow it to suffer the same fate as Elturel.
And why would they want that to happen to Baldur's Gate? They live here.
I don't know. They don't ask me that sort of thing. They don't provide me. They've imprisoned me.
I should have checked with the rest of the team some time ago. This is Sherry talking to Brendan, not the characters talking, to see if anybody does have Zone of Truth.
Nope. Okay. Okay, so Cassandra's not command of her body, right?
She
cut her quarry is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I had forgotten about that, sorry.
No, that's not me. I have rolled 5 4s in a row on this, and another one was a 1. I'm not using this dice anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, leave it. At this point, Isaac says, "Can it?" and points at the shield. I'm just a random character for this.
Okay.
Because I give in.
Which one is Eisen? This one?
Yeah, Eisen is the
Okay.
is the dragonborn looking one.
Allie looks at him and then looks where he's looking,
Sees the shield.
looks back at him and says, "Is that talking to you?
Yeah.
What does it have to say?"
Well, it says that it's part of a secret society. That there's a secret society of evil members after it, and that the secret society also wants powers to be used for good. So we should probably take it with us so that we can prevent it from being used for evil. And we're in the middle of another conversation, telling you to wait a little while.
Good idea.
Anyway, so Mr. Krieg, where were we? Eisen says this.
Good. And how does Krieg react?
He says, He shrugs nervously and goes,
Allie says, "Well, perhaps if you don't have any more to say, this conversation is over and we should move on to the next one. Eisen, does your new acquaintance have anything to say on the subject of Mr. Krieg's allegations?"
Okay, so you have to remind me, the DM, about this, because brain fart. So what do you want to know?
I'm saying Eisen just told the shield to wait while we finish this talk, and
Yes.
Krieg is sort of freezing up. So I'm basically telling Krieg that, well, if you don't have anything to say, then perhaps this conversation is over and we should start talking to the shield. See what the shield has to say about what you're saying.
And what do you want to know about what he's saying? Is what I was asking?
I want to know whether the shield is agreeing with his story or not. About what has happened locally with just him and the Van Tampers and the shield.
It says it's been stuck down here for the past few days, so it doesn't know, and it only met him a day or two ago, which checks out with his story.
Mm-hmm.
It says that it is a celestial.
Okay.
And
Do you believe it, Eisen?
well, it's saying this to you guys.
Oh, it's now talking to all of us?
Well, it's talking to Allie now, because Allie seems to be leading the discussion.
Okay.
So, okay, so where were we? It says it's a few of you, so Eisen, Allie, and a few of us. So, I'll sort of say this to all of us. It'll be easier if I just give it universal telepathy.
Okay. Can I do my standard insight check to see if it's lying?
Sure.
Okay. Darned if I remember which die works for her. 19? Do I think it's telling the truth
Yeah.
about being a celestial?
Yeah, you think so?
Okay. And what would happen if you were to be freed from your shield?
It basically says it would go back to its home, and avoid bothering anyone ever again.
How did you come to be in the shield?
It was imprisoned by a bunch of evil people.
Alright. Thavius. What do you know about what happened to Elturel? Do you know why Elturel fell?
No, of course not. He's lying.
Just check my gear.
We all can tell he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
Varian has a bit of trouble telling. Berea can't tell he's lying at all. That's when you're starstruck by someone. There's all sense
Okay.
of sense.
how is the quarry reacting to the celestial in the shield?
I don't know. It's up to you how that happens. You're in control of the quarry and
Well, does the quarry believe this is a trapped celestial that was trapped by fiends?
Oh, or evil build.
Evil.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
So it sounds like a plausible story. Seems realistic.
All right. So my quarry would think that the celestial ought to be freed, but it, like all of us, can tell that Thavius is lying.
Yeah.
All right. So the quarry's eyes burn some more, and it says, "I cannot abide untruths."
Ray says, "Wait,
Okay.
what?"
And it raises her arms in an arcane fashion to imply she's about to.
Ray says, "Hold him home. We can't hurt him." Slarp just
Flick says, "I've already heard that once today. It turned out to be true in that case. I'm not so convinced about this one."
Is the Flick trying to stop her?
From doing what? I mean, she's just coming over to talk, right? To say don't do it?
Pretty much. Or trying to get in the way at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's stepping in between them.
Okay, so Hazir and Eisen say, "Hey, we're going to prove that he's corrupt at this point. Beyond the normal amount." That's what Eisen adds.
Yeah, Sherry to Brendan. I'm just trying to. I'm sure I would understand if I heard the tone of voice and everything. Are they saying we have to prove this before we take any action, or are they saying she's never going to believe it until we prove it?
She's never going to believe it until we prove it.
Okay.
So, we're going to be able to take action.
So how would you suggest that we prove it? Flick says.
Religion checks from everyone.
Flick got an 18.
Good, he has an idea. I'll tell you after everyone else make their checks as well.
Allie has a 19.
Okay.
And Cassandra, despite her connection to the divine, only has a 10.
Okay, so, Cassandra's quarry thinks threatened, because if he can't threaten to make him confess, and Allie, Flick, and everyone else thinks he was a priest, which means he should have had magical powers, because that's what priests do. He got that because he was a follower of Torm. If he's a follower of a devil, that'll show up in his spellcasting, if he has any. So he's going to make him show his spellcasting, if he has any, and if he doesn't have any, that'll reveal it.
So, but how would...
Make him cast a spell.
No, I understand that part, but I'm just saying, I understand that he would have lost his clerical powers when he abandoned Torm, or at least the powers that Torm had granted him, but he could still have powers that were granted by whomever his new master is.
Exactly the point. Like they'll be tainted and it'll look different.
Do we know it'll look different?
That's what always works. We think so. Most who's got like an 18 or higher think so.
Okay.
And if it does look similar, well, we can always find a way to prove, like forcing it out of him with a check.
Okay.
So.
Alright, so are we thinking about just demanding that he make light or something, or are we thinking about just going ahead and letting Cassandra's quarry attack him so that he's obliged to defend himself?
He does have a mace, so he might use that.
Yeah, that's not...
So, make his candlestick and say, cast light.
Alright. Okay. Alright, we'll just flat out ask him.
Okay, so he fails to bluff miserably. I I can't. After like 10 minutes of just stuttering, if he gets that far. After a few minutes, after a few seconds stuttering, he's like, or however long, until he gets
How was Rhea? I mean, because that's what's going to drive how long we have him keep trying.
Her jaw just gets lower and lower as this happens.
Okay.
And when she finally goes, you can't cast spells, he's like, no. She's like, I'm so sorry, guys.
Alright, so I believe at this point we need to take him in for questioning by someone who can force him to tell the truth, and we need to take that shield out of here before it can be used for anything.
Yep.
Once that decision is made, the quarry recedes, and Cassandra's back in charge.
Okay, so as we do this, let's see, so we've covered pretty much everywhere except for that one central area. And that doesn't have anything useful in it, I think, so I'll just run through it really quickly. I think. Yeah, you beat those ones. Okay.
So, do we think... is there any part of this that we haven't covered yet?
The center room, but I can run there real quickly because there's no one left in the area.
Alright, we need to take him with us. We need to take the shield with us. We can try binding him, and then we'll just have to make sure that as we leave, several of the members of the group, both one physical and one magical in nature, two each if necessary, are surrounding him at all times, monitoring him, while the others of us check the remaining rooms before us.
Okay, so we managed to check the rest of the rooms pretty easily because nothing really left. We killed everyone who remained. So.
Right, well, I will still be inclined to be cautious because of...
you don't know that yet.
I don't know that yet. Random imps, invisible people, and physical traps.
Okay, so, Lennon, you're ready.
To do which? To
go on to the next part, because...
Okay. Sorry, this is Grandpa.
Okay, so, we're meeting with Captain Zodge, and I'll just use Major for him.
Oh, okay, I thought we were going to go... I thought you were getting ready to show me the other two rooms.
No, I said we were going to skip through those, because like, they had nothing of interest, because everyone was,
Oh, okay.
Everyone in them was already dead. There was no more interesting stuff in them. They were just... All right. Just explore, find nothing, explore,
yeah,
find
sorry,
nothing.
I heard you say that they were largely done, but I thought that... I thought you were saying that we'd be able to get through them quickly. Okay.
Yeah. So,
was there... Alright, there wasn't anything else that we wanted to go back for. What about the lady? We needed to go back and free her. Alright, so we'll collect Satir or...
Satir.
Okay. We collect Satir.
And you have this with you already, so as you head back, you all receive 200 GP after a 10-day because that was your payment owed for helping with this mission.
That's lovely. I bet I might be able to buy... Would I be able to buy a lesser healing potion with that?
Not a Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Yeah, no, I imagine they charge through the roof for everything.
Gotham, but more corrupt.
Okay. One of me did... No, I didn't. The quantity is listed as 0. Sorry.
No, you had one. When you chose one as your item, let me check. Who was it? Let's see. Yeah, it was Flick. Flick chose a potion of healing as theirs, as their character bonus item. And Allie has an extra 10 GP if she hasn't added that in already. Check out the character bonus item right here.
Okay, yeah, Flick does not have a healing potion listed.
You didn't add in when you were working on it.
Okay. Alright. The stock one, right? 20 HP? Or 10 HP?
10.
10 HP. Healing potion, 10 HP, quantity 1. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Alright, so we are back to Zodge.
Yep.
Alright.
So reporting to him, yada yada.
Okay.
So as you...
Well, what happened with Satir? Once we got out of the building, did
She went to
she
go-
just went off on her own?
Probably we're okay with that.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
Yeah, she won't have to go ruin the Van Tamper's reputation even more.
Excellent. I am in favor of that. Alright, how's Rhea holding up?
She's been broken up, but she's gonna hold together.
Okay. And now she was, let me remind myself why she was looking for him.
She was looking for him because she thought
she
he
just
could help.
Yeah, okay.
She had a very high opinion of him because he was the guy who probably saved El Torell in the beginning.
Okay.
Anyway,
Alright.
our meeting with Captain Zodge is interrupted by the arrival of several Flame Fist soldiers clad in plate armor. From behind this wall of swords and steel steps an armored woman with a white cloak and graying hair. Are these the maniacs who have stirred up every nest of rats in this god's forsaken city? Zodge says, Commander Porter, I was told you'd be back in Baldur's Gate for at least another 10 day. She replies, that's what the city's government wanted you to think, Captain.
That's what the city's government?
Wanted you to think,
Okay.
Captain. Yep. Then turned to you, she says, I trust you've been adequately compensated.
We have, thank you.
Good. She says, let's see.
Now, have we did this happen, did she show up the moment we walked in?
No, she showed up a little while after we gave her report.
Okay, so we have already given our report.
Yeah.
Okay.
She, and after finding out that we received our promised reward, she says, thank you for doing your part to help Baldur's Gate.
Well, it seems like there might be more that needs to be done to ensure that Baldur's Gate does not go the way of El Torell.
I see. I'll provide you each with a riding horse to make your way there.
To make our way where?
Sorry, you would have... Sorry, never mind. Because she probably would assume that you won't be able to go there, and...
What, to El Torell?
or
No.
wherever you're going, because... She would have assumed that you're not going to be doing this in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, well, basically
where
we've got we've got a couple of things.
Where are you going? To be precise.
Well, I didn't say we're going anywhere. There
Oh.
are a few things that remain to be done. So, the other participants in the current activity, the Van Tampers, some of them have been dealt with, but not all of them. My understanding is one of her other sons is still operating a
Money lending business.
but is involved in their actions against Baldur's Gate. So that's an outstanding issue. There is the question of this individual, Thavius Krieg, who apparently is involved in some way, knows something about the fall of El Torell that he's not telling us, and may in fact be attempting to do the same to Baldur's Gate. He needs to be questioned by someone who can extract the truth rather than merely noticing his lies. He's a terrible liar, ma'am. In addition, there are 2 artifacts that may be contributing in some way to either the fall or the prevention of the fall. One of them is this shield, occupied by a celestial, we believe, and the other is... Sorry, I'm trying to...
I'm trying to figure out what the second one is myself.
Some proof that is hidden inside an infernal puzzle box.
Oh, you said artifacts, that like an actual artifact.
Oh, did I use a technical term?
Yes.
All right, sorry, I was using artifacts in the normal English sense, not in the Dungeons and Dragons sense. My
Yeah,
bad.
artifact means like ancient, one-of-a-kind item.
Okay.
There's puzzle boxes are uncommon. These things are.
I didn't realize that artifact was a technical term.
Oh, it is. These things are more. The artifacts are rarer than legendary magic items.
Duly noted.
Yeah. Like the Hand of Vecna is an artifact.
Okay.
Seriously, that's saying. Okay, so.
All right, so that's about 4 different outstanding issues because we've got Van Tampers that are out there.
I know someone who may be able to help you with the puzzle box at least. She mentions.
And Fisk is still with us, right?
Yeah, she says Silvira Salvet, whatever, however the hell do you pronounce that name?
Okay.
And Fisk says,
thank you for the confirmation. Sorry, let me look up his first. Fallister. So Fisk was his last name. Mr. Fisk here had told us the same thing, and it is nice to have confirmation.
Of course.
Secure
riding horse secure riding horse for each of you to get there.
Yes, I think if we may, we would like to take the puzzle box to Silvira Savicus.
Yep.
I don't know what needs to happen with the shield.
You should take it with you. She knows a lot there.
Thank you. Cassandra says thank you because she's very concerned with the imprisoned Celestial.
Okay.
All right. And you will take care of the local issues, the collection at the Van Tamper and
of
family,
course.
And the Inquisition of Thavius Krieg.
Indeed.
Excellent. We're grateful for your patronage, and we'll return with what information we gain from the Sage as soon as we've obtained it.
So, we're just gonna get to head to Candle Keep. She's gonna leave because she knows how to get there fastest. As the baseless gate opens, actually we have a 10-day before we can actually head out, so...
Why?
Well, technically, 10 day before any attacks to make sure the 10-day... we should get paid after a 10-day of attacks from the Dead 3 stop.
Okay.
To make sure that the attacks have stopped.
Okay.
So, we technically have a 10-day to wait before we get our pay, so...
Do we have to wait until we get our pay, or do we do this and then come back for our pay?
Well, I wanted to get some role-playing time, so...
Okay.
Also, as we're heading out, Hazir heads over to Flick and says, by the way, by the way, we're going to need to talk about those ethics. You know, like I promised we would when we were in Thirstwell's room, beating him senseless.
Flick says, I do not remember that conversation, but I'll be happy to have it.
I was thinking you guys were talking about, like, when, she was like, we shouldn't do this, he's a noble, and you were like, would you tell me if he wasn't a noble?
Okay, that one, yes.
Yeah, basically, and he was like, oh, it gets worse. And you're like, eh? And he was like, another time.
Right.
And that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Whoever wants to be in this conversation can be over it, so...
Well, obviously Flick wants to be... Where are we?
Over on this square, I guess.
And, I need to be involved in anything that involves acquiring information. And if everybody else is already over here, then Cassandra will listen in as well.
Ray's gonna be just writing her gear and stuff for the thing.
Okay, so Varaine is involved in the conversation.
He doesn't want her to be left out, so she can put her 2 cents in.
Okay.
Or as he puts it, or as he would probably put it if he were less polite, like her 1,000,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
Because he's polite, so he's not going to make that insult. Anyway.
Allow her to stick her aristocratic nose in.
Yeah. He explains that Varaine was more hammered than a nail by an angry dwarf's vengeance in the lower city. He was several of her personal guards, and when she saw him, quote, demonstrating martial prowess, as he puts it, by fending off a drunk patron, she demanded to see what else he could do. So he tried to leave, and her guards prevented because it was her orders. So he knocked a few of them out, and she got mad, and they end up fighting each other. And then he
Okay,
adds,
so she saw him fighting,
or
was impressed,
while
and-
drunk as all get out,
and decided to make him perform for her.
pretty much.
He refused. She had her guards hold him, and
And then he proceeded to knock them out, and she tried to attack, and he said, well, fought is a strong word. It was more of a, I defend myself from a drunken idiot. To which Rain says, that's not what happened. You attacked me when I asked what you were doing. You attacked a drunk patron, I won't deny that, but I was not interested.
do they both believe what they're saying?
Insight!
Well, you'll no doubt be completely unsurprised to learn that, 7, Allie has no clue.
This is insight, so you count that as a 2.
Oh, that's right, that's a 7. Or an 8. I can't roll below an 8 on checking to see if somebody's lying. So that's a 15.
He's telling the truth, she is uncertain.
So she was in fact hammered out of her gourd, and she's, anything that she doesn't remember clearly, she's decided it's the way she wants it to have been.
Pretty much.
Okay. Allie is more generous than Flick on this subject.
Flick can also tell this easily because also he's a
so,
general.
Allie looks at Vrain and says, I appreciate that you do not know that what he is saying is true. But you also don't know that what you are saying is true, and so you should not assert that it is true when you don't remember. Some of us have lapses in judgment when we overpartake. And if you have a history of not having very clear memories of what happens when you have been imbibing, perhaps you should imbibe less and less frequently, and be open to listening to what people tell you you've done when you don't remember.
This happens a lot in our games, by the way. We get too serious at times. Anyway, so, roll persuasion for that.
Do I have any dice that roll above a 1 for her? Let's see. Persuasion.
Well,
Oh
one
yeah,
can
this
roll
isn't
high
going to
for
go
her.
well. 20. Non-nat. But,
Sorry, she had a +6 modifier.
well, it makes sense. She's stubborn and she's rich and she thinks she's better than everybody else.
Patriarch.
Patronizing.
Well, she doesn't do that. She's an idiot.
Flick curls his lip in contempt.
I'm like,
No.
it wasn't really that.